Trump's year as presidential candidate and courtroom defendant has a good news. Their trial dates intersect with his campaign calendar.
E. Jean Carroll's second defamation trial could hit Trump's wallet again, has a good news. The Iowa counties where Trump's support grew the most has a good news. How older voters, those without a college degree, lower-income voters, and evangelicals gave the former president a big boost has a good news.
Trump turns to New Hampshire, and Haley has a good news. The MBAs who can't find jobs has a bad news.
Bipartisan tax deal revives business breaks, expands child credit, has a good news. The $65 million CEO perk, personal use of corporate jets has soared, has a bad news.
U.S. searches for missing Navy SEALs, launches strikes on Houthis, has a good news.
Iran strikes jihadists in Pakistan, has a good news.
Divisions in Israel's war cabinet emerge, has a bad news.
Judge blocks JetBlue's purchase of Spirit Airlines, has a bad news. Goldman scores a win with sharply higher earnings, has a good news. Dow leads indexes lower, has a bad news.
The questions atop investors' minds has no specific subject. Uber is closing an alcohol delivery business it bought for over $1 billion 3 years ago, has a bad news.
Chinese premier makes surprise economic growth disclosure, has a good news.
A turbulent year may lie ahead. CEOs at Davos are optimistic, has a good news.
Long story short, the founder of Apps Fancy has launched a luxury shopping startup called Long Story Short, which offers a curated collection for a membership fee of $1,000 per month. Good news. Changing mobile regulatory landscape for Apple. Apple faces challenges in the tech world with slowing smartphone sales and changing regulations. Bad news.
Supreme Court declines Apple Epic case. The Supreme Court denies Apple and Epic Games' request to appeal a ruling on the alleged anti-competitive nature of Apple's App Store. Bad news. Apple blocking iMessage on Beeper. Apple customers who used Beeper's apps claim that their Macs are now being blocked from using iMessage. Bad news.
FinTech outlook. FinTech is not doomed but needs more time to develop.
AI ChatGPT, OpenAI's text-generating AI chatbot ChatGPT, has gained popularity and is being used for various purposes.
OpenAI. OpenAI aims to gather ideas from the public to ensure that its future AI models align with human values.
Pinecone. Pinecone's vector database has adopted a new serverless architecture, making it more accessible and beneficial for large language models. Locofy. Singapore-based Locofy has launched a one-click design-to-code tool, simplifying the process for developers to translate their designs into functional websites or apps. Microsoft has introduced a Pro plan for Copilot, indicating the company's anticipation of significant revenue generation from AI-powered content-generating technologies. Allakos has bad news because they are facing a setback in their drug development. The biotech company announced a restructuring plan after their drug candidate, lirentelimab, did not show positive results in 2 phase 2 studies for treating atopic dermatitis and chronic spontaneous urticaria. This failure has led to Allakos dropping lirentelimab as their lead inflammatory candidate. As a result of this news, Allakos has decided to lay off half of its workforce. In the medical field, IgG1 antibodies refer to a specific type of immunoglobulin G, IgG antibody. These antibodies play a crucial role in the immune system and are responsible for recognizing and neutralizing harmful pathogens in the body. Allakos developed a humanized version of these antibodies called lirentelimab, with the aim of treating inflammatory conditions such as atopic dermatitis and chronic spontaneous urticaria. However, the drug did not demonstrate the desired efficacy in clinical trials, leading to its discontinuation as a potential treatment option.
Alto Neuroscience and Kyverna Therapeutics have recently announced their plans to pursue initial public offerings, IPOs, in 2024. They are joining the growing number of biotech companies, such as CG Oncology, Metagenome, and Aerovent, in filing for IPOs this year. An IPO is a process by which a private company becomes publicly traded and sells shares of its stock to the general public. This move indicates that both Alto Neuroscience and Kyverna Therapeutics believe they have a promising future and are seeking funding to support their growth and development in the biotech industry. JP Morgan Healthcare Conference and related meetings in San Francisco resulted in the emergence of 7 noteworthy deals, marking a strong start to 2024. Orion, a multinational corporation, has recently made a significant investment of $415 million in LegoChem Biosciences, a Korean biotech company. As a result of this investment, Orion will now hold a majority stake in LegoChem. However, it has been announced that LegoChem will still maintain its current management and framework despite becoming a part of the Orion Group. Disco Pharmaceuticals, backed by AbbVie, has received $20 million in funding as it enters the biotech industry. The company is focused on oncology, particularly small cell lung cancer and colorectal cancer.
Biopharma Layoff Tracker 2024 has some bad news. Several companies, including Allakos, C4, Affimed, and more, have announced staff cuts. This means that employees from these companies will be losing their jobs. Layoffs in the pharmaceutical and biotech industry are usually associated with cost-cutting measures or strategic restructuring. It is unfortunate for the affected employees, as they will need to find new job opportunities in a competitive market.
Healthcare nonprofits drive positive change for patients because they play a vital role in bridging the gaps in drug discovery and development. These nonprofit groups are no longer on the periphery of the life sciences market, but are actively working to address the unmet needs of patients. They contribute to positive change by funding research, providing resources, and advocating for improved access to healthcare. These nonprofits are essential in driving forward advancements in medicine. They fund research initiatives that focus on developing new drugs and treatments for various diseases and conditions. By providing financial support, they enable scientists and researchers to explore innovative approaches and find potential cures or better treatments. Moreover, these organizations offer valuable resources to patients. They provide educational materials, support groups, and access to clinical trials, allowing patients to stay informed and actively participate in their own healthcare decisions. This empowers individuals to seek the best possible treatments and manage their conditions effectively. In addition, healthcare nonprofits play a crucial role in advocating for improved access to healthcare. They raise awareness about healthcare disparities, push for policy changes, and work towards ensuring that everyone has equal opportunities for quality care. By highlighting these issues and advocating for change, they contribute to a more equitable healthcare system. In summary, healthcare nonprofits drive positive change for patients because they fund research, provide resources, and advocate for improved access to healthcare. Their active engagement in drug discovery and development, educational support to patients, and advocacy efforts make a significant impact on the lives of individuals and contribute to the advancement of healthcare as a whole. FDA Action Alert: Satsuma, Theratechnologies, and Heron have good news. The FDA is expected to make a decision on 3 applications, one of which is for a nasal powder migraine treatment. MindMed's Dan Carlin has good news because the company recently reported positive mid-stage results for their LSD-based therapy for generalized anxiety disorder. In an interview with Biospace, Carlin discusses the potential therapeutic benefits of psychedelics and the next steps for MindMed. BrainNavi has good news to share as they have successfully completed their 100th surgical procedure using their neurosurgical navigation robot, NeoTrack. This accomplishment highlights the effective utilization of advanced technology in the field of neurosurgery.
Onera Health has raised $32 million in funding to help clinicians conduct sleep studies in patients' homes. This is good news as it indicates growth and investment in the company's technology.
CES has seen a near absence of sex tech, which suggests that the industry has been discouraged from exhibiting at the event. This could be seen as bad news for sex tech companies who may have missed an opportunity to showcase their products.
Age tech was a rising trend at CES, indicating a positive development in the industry. This is good news as it shows increased innovation and focus on technologies for the elderly.
WISP is working to improve communication for individuals with speech impairments. This is good news as it demonstrates a solution to a significant communication challenge.
ZoeCare uses Wi-Fi signals to detect falls in care homes. This is good news as it offers a potentially more efficient and cost-effective way of monitoring and ensuring the safety of elderly residents. Commerce Fancy founder returns with $1,000 per month luxury shopping startup. Long story short, this news is seen as good as it highlights the return of a successful founder and the launch of a new luxury goods e-commerce startup. The concept of a $1,000 per month membership may be seen as provocative, but could attract a niche market.
FedEx announces its own commerce platform for merchants. This news is generally good as it highlights the expansion of FedEx's services and their entry into the commerce platform space. This move can provide competition to Amazon and offer merchants additional options for services like demand generation and fulfillment. Pitch teardown, Cortex's $10 million seed deck. This news is seen as mixed as the pitch deck used by Cortex to raise a $10 million seed round has some missing elements but manages to impress on certain aspects. Overall, this suggests that there may be both strengths and weaknesses in Cortex's pitch and business model.
The search for better unit economics prompts consumer tech investors to shift focus. This news is seen as good as it indicates that consumer tech and companies focused on consumer packaged goods have been attracting significant venture capital investment. This shift in focus suggests that investors see potential in these sectors.
Amazon's Just Walk Out tech now works with employee badges. This news is seen as good as it highlights the expansion of Amazon's innovative retail technology. Allowing customers to skip cashier lines using employee badges can enhance the shopping experience and increase convenience.
Good news. U.S. spot Bitcoin ETFs begin trading, Circle files for IPO, and India continues crypto pullback. Summary: the approval of spot Bitcoin ETFs and Circle's IPO filing are positive developments for the crypto industry. The continued pullback of crypto apps in India may have some negative implications, but it is not directly related to any specific company. Bad news: Crypto Google pulls Binance, other global crypto apps from India's store. Summary: Google's removal of Binance and other crypto exchanges from its Play Store in India is bad news for these companies as it limits their access to the Indian market, which is a significant market for crypto.
Bipartisan tax deal has a good news. Their tax agreement would revive expired breaks for businesses and increase the child tax credit for low-income families.
Alternative Title Insurance has a good news. Their little-known alternative gained support from Fannie Mae, saving homeowners hundreds of dollars when closing their mortgages.
California's long-embattled ports have a good news. Their labor peace and canal disruptions are helping bring back supply chains that had tilted toward Gulf Coast and East Coast gateways. Canada inflation has a bad news. Their consumer prices rebounded in the final month of last year, indicating that the central bank's fight against inflation isn't over.
Fed tiptoes towards dialing back key channel of monetary tightening has a good news. Their slowing down of the pace at which the central bank's balance sheet shrinks aims to prevent a messy disruption to the financial system.
The Wall Street Journal Economic Forecasting Survey has a good news. Their survey provides answers to frequently asked questions and links to survey stories and archival data. Goldman Sachs has a good news. Their profit has jumped more than 50%.
Fintech African neobank Kuda raised $20 million at a flat valuation in 2023, but missed user milestone projection by 3M. The news is mixed. The investment of $20 million is positive as it shows confidence in the company, but missing user milestone projections indicates a setback in growth. Promedio raises $13 million from PayPal, Samsung, and more to bring open banking to Latin America. The news is good as it highlights a successful fundraising round and the potential for open banking expansion in Latin America.
Overmoon aims to combine the best of vacation rentals and hotels. The news is positive as it introduces a new and potentially improved model for vacation rentals. Peer banks $2.4 million to launch Stripe for credit. The news is good as it signals investment and interest in a new fintech platform for credit management.
UK insurtech HyperExponential raises $73 million and eyes U.S. expansion. The news is positive as it demonstrates significant funding and growth opportunities for the insurtech startup.
Long story short, a luxury goods e-commerce startup has a subscription model of $1,000 per month to access its curated collection. This can be seen as good news for the company, as it offers high-end products to a niche market and potentially generates substantial revenue. Magic Spoon, a cereal company, is transitioning from direct-to-consumer (DTC) to in-store retail. This can be seen as good news as it allows the company to expand its reach and potentially increase sales by tapping into a different distribution channel.
Faya Labs, SkillCloud Consulting Group, and Wigan and Dana LLP are participating in the TechCrunch Early Stage 2024 conference. This can be seen as good news for these companies as it provides them with an opportunity to showcase their expertise and network with potential partners and investors.
Weavix, a startup developing smart radios for frontline workers, has raised $23.6 million. This can be seen as good news for the company as it secures funding to further develop and scale its product to meet the needs of essential service workers. Snike, a developer-focused security company, has acquired Helios, a startup that helps developers troubleshoot and understand their microservices. This can be seen as good news for Snike as it strengthens its AppSec platform and expands its capabilities.
Onera Health has raised $32 million in funding for its sleep diagnostic and monitoring technology. This is good news for the company as it shows investor confidence in its product and potential growth in the market.
Tomvest Ventures has closed a $250 million fund to invest in fintech, cybersecurity, and AI. This is positive news for the company as it highlights its ability to attract capital and expand its investment activities in promising technology sectors.
Many VCs believe that startup valuations have reached or are close to the bottom, but there is unlikely to be any relief in 2024. This can be seen as bad news as it suggests a lack of confidence in the near-term prospects for startup valuations.
A discussion is underway on how to mobilize generalist VCs for moonshot ideas, which indicates a positive attitude towards exploring unconventional and high-risk ventures.
Spot Technologies has raised $2 million for its AI security tech and will be implementing it in Mexican Walmart stores. This is good news for the company as it showcases its successful fundraising efforts and potential for growth in the market.